Hello everyone, welcome back. So we discussed what are the some key features and people why they are going for Java, right? So now let's talk about the JVM because we discussed about JRE and JDK, right? So now it's time for talk about JVM. So as I mentioned, you need JRE to execute the Java program, right? Or bytecode in a simpler way. So JVM is the one who's doing the job actually. Okay, inside the JRE which we needed for executing a bytecode. But inside the JRE, who's doing the job? Actually, JVM is the one who's doing the particular job. Okay, let's see. So JVM, which will available in your PC. I mean, when you install JDK, right? It will be installed as part of your installation process, and which will be under your JRE folder. Correct, and it understands the machine language which is a bytecode, and JVM executes the code generated by the Java compiler. Correct, right? Because JVM is resides in the JRE, right? JRE can execute the code with the help of JVM. Correct, so JVM cannot compile the code because that is a part of JDK. So JDK we have a compiler which will compile the code. So JDK compile the code and pass on to the JRE. JRE pass on to the JVM because JVM is the one who can read the bytecode and it will show the outcome. And to be very frank, JVM is the one who makes the platform as a independent, because as I mentioned, each and every different platform which has its own JVMs. But what the exact thing, even though if it is a different JVMs, everything produce the same outcome, correct? Since they are all producing the same result in a different platform, that is why it's called as a platform independent, correct? So which means I developed my code in Linux and I'm able to execute the same code in Mac also in Linux. So that is called as a platform independent. Okay, so let's take a look at how the JVM works. Just take this particular diagram, you can easily understand how the entire process is working. You're writing a program which is nothing but .java file, correct? That's the first step. Okay, so what's the next step? You're compiling the code. You mean the compiler will compile the .java file code. The reason, we need to validate and we need to pre-check whether is there any validation issue, all the rules and conditions has been placed properly in your program. Compilation will do the work for you, and then if compilation is success, it will generate a .class file, because from .java to it will convert to the another file or create another file called .class file, which contains the bytecode. Correct? Once the bytecode is ready, the code is ready for executable. I mean for seeing the output. Okay, so who's doing the job? So bytecode has been handed out to the JRE. So JRE contains JVM, right? So here the bytecode directly sending to the JVM, which will interpret the data and print into your operating system or any platforms. See, we have an interpreter for Windows, Linux and Mac, right? But each of them have its own JVMs. You're writing program in one operating system and you can execute in the rest of the operating systems. All you need is a JVM. Correct? So not only that, JVM has its own architecture. Okay, so because JVM it is taking the bytecode, so inside the JVM itself there are multiple containers which will take in each and individual job. Okay, we'll talk about what is available inside the JVM. I mean to say the architecture of a JVM, how it is receiving a class file and what are the steps it is processing to show the output. We'll talk about the architecture in the next video.